Some of these do have the possibility to be strong or severe, including the threat for some large hail. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm WOWT 6 meteorologist Brad Sugden on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents
Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company
with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks. Welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Got some cool news for you this morning. This is the last show that we will be doing with that phone number. Boom, boom, boom. Account reps are dropping their coffee right now somewhere. What? He hasn't called us. No, actually, it's gonna be pretty cool actually, because this is the last show that's gonna be just local right here on this station in Omaha. Starting next week, we're going to be simulcasting this show on Lincoln as well. And then that's going to be the test case to simulcast it in multiple other cities, which is one of the reasons why we're streaming live on Facebook right now at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. You can listen to us outside of the listening area, and we actually look at where you're listening from to determine, maybe we should put our show on a station in that area. So it's kind of cool. But we got to have one show, right? Right now I'm doing two shows, and it gets confusing because which show is where and everything else. So we got to get one show. We got to narrow it down a little bit. So starting next week, this show is not going to air anywhere else. So I can say all this cool stuff to you because this is the home station. KFAB is the home station for Compute This. So you can always use the local KFAB numbers, which are, of course, 402-558-1110 and 800-543-1110. But starting next week, I'm going to be dropping a different 800 number, which is going to just forward here. So you can call the local numbers if you want. You can call the 800 number if you want. It doesn't really matter. But the cool thing about it, see, here's the problem. They air my show on Saturdays in Lincoln. So I can't have a show on Saturday at like 10 in the morning saying, hey, call in right now, and then having the phones here at KFAB ringing off the hook during a garden show. And then they're like, oh, we got a caller on too. Joe, what's your question for the Master Gardener? Yeah, my computer doesn't seem to boot right. Yeah, can you help me with that? Oh, this is a gardening show. I have no idea why we think this is a computer show. Next caller. Yes, my computer has a virus. You know, it wouldn't be good, you know. So what we can do is we can set up that 800 number so that during the show here on Sunday morning it comes here, and the rest of the times it goes to the service center, or allows you to leave a voicemail so you can ask a question anytime and then have us, pipe it in for the show. So it's kind of cool. So anyway, so don't be alarmed next week when you hear a new 800 number coming out, because that's what's going to be going on. So fun times, good times, expansion, all sorts of neat stuff. All right, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the show. As we do every week, you can ask a question or make a comment. It says bad audio. Audio is too hot. Oh, wow, Winston, I've never been accused of being too hot. Hold on a second, Winston. See, there we go. Holy cow, it was.
Normally appeared to be purple in the light in the studio before. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff going on. Now, right now, I spent a lot of time this week working in all three shops. I really made an effort to spend equal time among my three children to get into the shops and touch as much as I could on the bench and make sure that everybody was getting the service levels they needed. Everybody was getting fast turnaround times. We've got some new staff. Tyler in Lincoln is relatively new, and he's never seen a full maintenance checkup sale before. And so, I'm imparting to him that during the maintenance checkup sale, efficiency is very, very important because these are people's computers. And when people drop a computer off in our service center, that's a piece of productivity from their lives. And the longer amount of time it spends in our shop, that's time it's not spending in their home doing the things they need it to do. And whether or not you think whatever they're doing with it is important, they think it's important. So we need to get them the computer back as quickly as possible. That's our goal. Our goal is same day to next day turnaround time, which always freaks my technicians out when I say, right now they're like, oh no, but can't always get same-day or next-day repair times because sometimes we have to order a part, and that takes a couple days. Or sometimes it's a really, really complex problem that takes a bunch of scans to fix that are going to take a couple days. But same-day to next-day is the goal. That's what we strive for because most computer repairs can actually be completed same-day to next-day. So we went ahead and, let's see, no audio, switching to KFAB regular radio. It says no audio now. I wish I could back up with radio. What? Now the audio is very low? My goodness, people.
All right. I can't make anybody happy. The audio's too hot. The audio's too cold. Now, okay, Goldilocks, how about now? Winston, let me know what's going on. Oh, a few seconds ago I get a growly face from Bob. I've never gotten a growly face before. Man. All right, so now the audio is back up again to a slightly higher level, and we'll see if we have any problems there. So the maintenance checkup sale has been going on for a week now over at the service centers, and I have to say, as far as maintenance checkups go, this maintenance checkup has been the most efficient and the most, I think, the best service that we've ever delivered during a maintenance checkup sale. Turnaround times are, in some cases, were same day. Most of them were next day or the day after, which on a maintenance sale, we get a lot of holiday specials in. They have a lot of memory. They have big hard drives in them. They're hard to test really well. Well, they're not hard to test. They just take a long time to test. 16 gigs of RAM takes a long time to do a 10-pass test on. So basically, we're moving through all those, getting the turnaround times good. I know we were working late into the evening last night because a couple things could happen today. As you know, we are right before the Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Independence Day. That's the other thing. Everybody calls it the 4th of July. Happy 4th! Like it's the 4th of August or something, or, Happy 4th. It's Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. Yeah. But basically, we're a couple days from Independence Day. Most radio show hosts are phoning it in. I'm in the service centers working. We're going to be open. We're open today from noon to 5. We are open Monday from 10 until 8. We are closed for the 4th. And then on the 5th, we'll reopen at 10. So as far as it goes, aside from the 4th not being, there's no shipping, no receiving, and we're closed. Aside from that, I mean, it's regular business as usual for the other days surrounding it. So we're going to make sure we get those computers turned around for you. You might be having people over to your house. The family might be coming over to celebrate Independence Day. And that could be on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, So basically, if they come over to your house, it's nice to not have the computer there for a few reasons. Number one, if the computer's there, what are the kids or the grandkids or the nieces and the nephews? They're all going to want to be on the computer. They're all going to want to, be messing around. Get the computer out. Send it out for a preventative maintenance checkup while they're on sale for half off. It's an amazing way to get the computer out of the house, and it's out for maintenance. And, you're not saying that those little gremlins would give you a virus, but it's out for maintenance right now. Sorry about that. Oh, how unfortunate. Number two is we launched the preventative maintenance checkup sale when we did, because we wanted to have it hit during a time that we knew we would be slow. That's half the challenge of a maintenance checkup. If we launch a maintenance checkup when we're busy, it's impossible to get same day, next day, or second day turnaround times. It's just impossible because we're so busy. So now, instead, what we're going to do is we're going to launch the maintenance checkup sale the week before the 4th of July. And some people are going to go online and buy certificates at SchrockInnovations.com. You can buy the certificate. It's good for 6 months. You can use it anytime in the next 6 months. It's half off, so it's $45 for the maintenance check. So you can do that, SchrockInnovations.com, or you can just bring it in. Right now, my Omaha Service Center has one computer on the bench. They cleared Nick stayed late yesterday to clear the entire bench. There is one computer on the bench. Bench spots are open. So even if you have a certificate, you can bring it in now. I mean, the turnaround times are amazing. In the Papillion Service Center, we have 4 open bench spots in there. The Lincoln Service Center has a very small queue on the desktop side. On the laptop side, they're completely caught up. So if you're going to bring a laptop in for maintenance, now's the time to do it because they're in good shape. Now, granted, they will be there. Today's kind of a short day. So we get a lot of checking in and checking out done today and a lot of automated testing done. Monday will be another full day. And then Tuesday, of course, we're closed. So, as far as getting your computer back next day, this day doesn't really count as a full day. So you probably won't get the computer back till Wednesday or so. But you can get it in, and a 2-day turnaround time during a maintenance checkup sale is unheard of. So if you haven't already, please tell your friends about the preventative maintenance sale going on at Schrock right now. It's half off. Normally it's $90. It's 8 hours of work on your computer. Now, if you have never seen a preventative maintenance checkup before, if you have never, experienced what it can do for your computer, and there are some of you, I don't know, it's humans are humans, and there's a few things I've noticed in the service center that frustrated me this week. Because as time has gone on in my company, I used to have one shop, and I'd get on the radio and I'd do the radio show, and then I'd go into the shop, and I would work in the shop, and I'd have customers come in, and they would talk about stuff on the radio, and I knew every customer. I knew him by name, I knew him by face. Then I got 2 shops, and it was a little harder to do that. Then I got 3 shops in 3 different cities, and that's really hard to do. That's why I'm trying to make an effort to spend time in each shop. I'm seeing old friends that I haven't seen in 5 years, like, oh my gosh, how are you? And they're like, oh my gosh, you look terrible. I'm like, thanks. You look great. Go away. No, they don't really say that. But, when people come in, I get to see, for example, that of the people coming in for the maintenance checkups, I would say maybe 2 out of 5 of them have installed Drive Advisor on their computer, which blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind, because Drive Advisor is an absolutely free program. There is no catch. There is no companion software. There is no pop-up ad. There's nothing. The only thing that Drive Advisor does is to tell you if your hard drive is going bad. That's it. You can download it for free at driveadvisor.com. So in the Lincoln Service Center this week, we have a computer from an electrician who owns his own independent contracting company doing electrical, obviously. Brings his computer in because it won't boot anymore. I power on the computer. He pays like an ASAP fee to get ahead of the line. I mean, he needs this thing back. Find out it's got a bad video card. The fan's all blown out in the video card, so he needs a new video card. But more importantly, his hard drive is dead. Or dying, badly dying. It was at 50% health, 50%. And, oh my gosh, it was terrible. He had to go to data recovery because we tried to stabilize the drive and we tried to get it stable enough that we could clone it, but we just couldn't. So we had to send it to data recovery, where we got hit over 1 billion sectors on the drive. We got all of them except 18 back. 18 were unreadable. The drive was so far gone that 18 sectors on the surface of the drive had corroded to the point where they would never be read again. And the data that was there is lost. Hopefully it wasn't important. But it's only 18 sectors out of 1 billion, so you can do the statistical math on that and figure out, yes, it's a blue shirt, Jody. And you can figure out, sorry, it's Facebook comments. You can figure out that 18 sectors isn't that big of a deal. So we got him his data back, and it cost him $800 in data recovery, which I know when you're like, oh my gosh, $800 just for recovering the data. That's not to fix his computer. That was just to recover the data. Then there was another $700 for all the work he needed done to the computer, between the security software, the video card, the new hard drive, the cloning, all that stuff. So, yeah, he spent $1,500 on a 5-year-old computer. Why? Well, that bill would have been in half if he would have had Drive Advisor installed. And I can't tell you enough. We had so many storms. We have severe weather in the forecast again. We've had so many storms, so much lightning, so much wind, so much down power, power on, power off, power on, power off, generator on, generator off. I mean, it has been nuts. So even if you didn't lose power, these power interruptions have dirtied the power that you are receiving. I'm sorry, I love OPPD. That was Herculean what they did after that storm where the power lines were down all over Papillion and Bellevue and everywhere from those tornadoes. But when you're hooking up power between 2 lines, no joke, with a jumper cable, like ye old alligator clips, you're going to get dirty power. It's going to cause your oven to hum. Anything that's a motor that has an iron core, it's going to cause that to hum. It's going to wreak havoc on your electronics. It's going to trash your stuff, even if you have a surge protector, because surge protectors protect against surges. They don't protect against dirty power. So when your power is filthy, your equipment's going to get beat up by it. But you're not going to notice that. Another example, we had a computer on the bench this week. The customer had a motherboard that was being undervolted by the power supply. So it was still booting, it was still turning on, but the power supply was not giving the motherboard enough electricity to operate. So the capacitors never got charged up all the way. And when the capacitors didn't get charged up all the way, it was doing its best to keep up, but it was working unreliably. And so we had to replace the power supply. So things like Drive Advisor, things like preventative maintenance are important to get done. The Drive Advisor stuff, if you do it once, it's done. But preventative maintenance every 6 months on your computer, that's what it needs to keep up and running. Because a lot of people will say, Thor, computers are so inexpensive now. Why would I do that? Why not just throw my computer away and get a new one? You could do that. The electrician could have done that. But unfortunately, he needed his data. Then all of a sudden, it's a decision of, oh, how much is it going to cost me to recreate all that data? Is it more than $800? Because if we would have sent this off to like Drive Savers in California, this would have been a $3,000 recovery. But because we have all the equipment right here in Omaha, we were able to get it done for $800. So we saved him a boatload of money, but that still doesn't make the guy writing you the $800 check feel any better. You know what I mean? So the preventative maintenance is something you can do for $45 that can save your biscuits. I can't tell you how many hard drives we've had that are bad that have come in. People had no idea. They didn't have Drive Advisor. I can't tell you how many power supplies we've had that have come through the door, and when we hook them up to the tester, they fail. Those power supplies are going to absolutely die. We had a boating company in Lincoln come in and got everything done. His hard drive was bad, and we were working on everything, and I was unhooking his hard drive, and the end of my finger right here just brushed his power supply. And I was like, ooh, something like cut me or scratched me or something. Ouch, that hurt. And I look, and there's no cut there. I'm like, well, that's weird. And I look at that power supply again, and notice the power supply fan isn't turning. Huh, that's weird. Touch. Ow, good golly, that's hot. I have never felt a power supply that hot before. Literally, it was using the entire computer's body as a heat sink. The computer was like a little space heater, just cooking away there. And that thing, I have no idea how it was not on fire. He came in because his hard drive was bad. Why do you think his hard drive went bad? Power supply failure. Replace the power supply, replace the hard drive. Computer's great now. But boy, if we could have caught that power supply failure before it became an easy bake oven for his hard drive, we could have probably saved him another $300. So this is what I'm talking about with preventative maintenance. And I know it's like beating a drum because the people who are going to listen have already been in. And the people who are listening and saying, you know, we should do that, but we've got something going on this week, or we got the 4th, or we got whatever. That's what the certificates are for, because what's going to happen is if you buy a certificate on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, we're going to send you a reminder email when it's about to expire. We may even send a reminder phone call when it's about to expire that you really need to use that certificate. So that way you don't just spend the $45 and end up not using it. But it's good for 6 months, so you could forget in 6 months. So anyway, I guess I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I've got a ton of things I could. I mean, literally, if you go to the website SchrockInnovations.com or Facebook.com/SchrockInnovations, I posted some pictures from the bench this week. There was one that was so bad with cobwebs you could put a pumpkin next to it and it would have been a Halloween picture. Like it looks like it was done like by a professional cob. You know, it was crazy. So you can check those pictures out on Facebook as well, Facebook.com/SchrockInnovations. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Linda, you're first up on the program today. How can I help you on Compute This?
Well, I have a question. I think my endpoint is about to expire.
Okay.
Is there any way you send notices out when that comes up?
We do, actually. So your endpoint, here's the cool thing. The endpoint that we offer is what's called a managed service. So instead of like, you know, you might be used to like, you know, the old Norton products that you'd get, and when it gets within 30 days of expiration, it starts popping up. You're going to expire, and then when it expires, it's like, oh, death, fire, and brimstone, you have expired. You know, what are we going to do? It doesn't work that way with our stuff. You're going to get a pleasant robocall from a guy with a voice that sounds suspiciously like mine. And he's going to say, hey, it's a new month and your endpoint's going to expire this month. Give us a call in the service center so we can get that renewed for you. Or press 1 now to transfer. This call is literally going to go out on Monday for everybody who expires in the month of July. And then midway through the month, you're going to get a, hey, this is Thor again, and I'm just calling because you still haven't updated your endpoint. We really need to get you upgraded. And then at the end of the month, you're going to get the, oh, I know there's a lot of important things to do in life, but you really, 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 really need to do this. Now, the other fun call that I'm going to send on Monday is for the people who didn't respond to that one. That one is like, bro, listen, I'm about to remove this from your computer like a bad weed with a can of weed be gone. I can remotely uninstall your endpoint. I really don't want to leave you unprotected, so please call me back. But it's much more nice than that. But it's basically like, I'm going to totally take your defenses away because you haven't paid for them. So please give us a call and pay the $60, and then I can leave it on your computer for another year. It's really very affordable compared to what could happen if I take it off. So anyway, it's pretty cool. Most people call back. We always have like 4 or 5. You know, people get a new computer and they think, oh, I don't need to renew the old one because I have a new computer. They don't think they can transfer the endpoint from the old computer to the new one. And so instead of paying like the $160 install price, they can pay the renewal price and just transfer it. So we get people who don't realize that. So then Summer actually makes like a personal call after that, and she's like, because we used to have like the front desks do all the calls, but there's so many Microsoft scam calls going on right now that everybody thought it was a scam call, and they just hung up on the people. The poor girls at the front desk were just getting hung up on. So I said, well, maybe if we use my voice. So I made a few test calls, but then the funny thing was, it's the guy from the radio calling, so everybody like, they wanted to chat, and I've got like 150 phone calls to make. People are going to like, lose their digital lives if I don't call them. I really got to go. So we did the robocall thing instead, and I hate pushing out robocalls, but it's effective for what we're doing with it. So your endpoint will never just blindly expire from your computer. Now, if you want to know the actual renewal date for your endpoint, there's a couple ways you can do that. Number one is you can call the service center at 934-9423 or in Papillion, 884-0880, and ask them, hey, what's the expiration date for my endpoint? And we can tell you. I don't have access to that here on the air. But otherwise, you'll get a robocall when it's time to renew it. We don't let you just blindly expire.
Okay, great.
All right, well, thank you for the call, Linda. I appreciate it. And that gets Linda in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Right now, her odds of winning are really, really good because, she's like the only caller right now. So 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. We're going to take a quick break on the show. When we come back from the break, we'll give you a few more stories from the bench. Let you know that. There was a big new virus this last week. We'll mention it, but it didn't really target consumers, so I don't really want to waste your time on it too much. But also, Karen, your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations has Omaha's only fully equipped data recovery center. Call 934-9423 the next time your hard drive, iPod, camera card, or flash drive stops working, and let Schrock get your data back.
Welcome to Schrock Innovations. How can I help you today?
I'm having a problem with my computer.
You're at the right place. We fix problems with computers.
That's why I'm here.
How are you doing on Facebook today? Sorry about the audio earlier because the bar looked okay. Like right now it looks hot to me. This is right where it was when everybody told me it was hot, and now it's back where it was, but everybody seems to say it's okay now. Let's see. Thomas is asking, so with dirty power, does a battery backup make a difference? It can. Some battery backups are just batteries with surge protector strap on them. That's the cheap ones. Some of them actually do power conditioning. And the power conditioning UPSs are what you're going to see that's like rack mountable and things like that. They're going to be expensive, like $400 or $500, but they can do power conditioning and help with the dirty power. That's what I have on my gear at home, and it's making a hell of a noise right now. All right, here we go back in, guys.
Yes, my name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, where we fix computers. Duh. We do preventative maintenance on computers right now. Big time. Big time. We're open at noon today. Right now, every single one of our service centers has open bench spots that you can get into today. We did this on purpose. So if this is just another weekend for you, you don't have big 4th of July plans, you're not traveling on vacation, you didn't take Friday off, Saturday, Sunday, I don't feel good, Monday off, Tuesday, holiday, and Wednesday back to the grind. You know what's going to happen Wednesday? People are going to come back, and you're going to have that compressed work week. Everything is going to be crazy. Everybody's going to be in a hurry to get everywhere, and we're going to have tons of people dropping off and picking up, and it's going to be crazy. So take this opportunity, this very rare opportunity, to bring your computer in now. We can get you checked in. We can get your baseline test started, which is like the memory test and the hard drive tests. Those can run tonight, overnight. Monday, when everybody comes in tomorrow morning, all your baseline tests are done. They'll start the malware tests then. They'll do the drive cleanups. They'll give you a call with any recommendations they have, if any, and then boom, you're back out the door. It is a perfect opportunity to do this. So we have 3 locations. We have one in Lincoln at 27th and Pine Lake Road, in Omaha, 168th and Burke, and of course at it's Village Point in Omaha, 168th and Burke, and in Papillion, 72nd and 370. Little Papillion news for you, by the way, BTW. We're going to be signing a new lease, I believe, on the 5th for a new space. So watch for that announcement next week of where the new service center is going to be, because we're going to be moving the Papillion Service Center. We're tired of the water. You know, when it rains, it pours in our service center, and that's not conducive to electronics. It's rather conductive, actually. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Karen, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This, Karen?
Well, I'm having a problem with using my preview pane, and I use it a lot. I have no problem when I use the details pane, but when I bring up the preview pane, what I've noticed, I've kind of narrowed it down to that, is when I open up PowerPoint files, they open as read-only.
Okay.
When when the preview pane is open, I get a sign that says Word cannot create the work file. Check the temp environment variable.
Okay. So where did you get this PowerPoint file from?
It can be from the internet. I do switch PowerPoint files back and forth with people I work with. So it can come from them, but it could be PowerPoint files that are sitting on my computer as well.
Gotcha. So when I say where did it come from, I mean, was it email? Did somebody email it to you?
Actually from Dropbox.
Okay, gotcha. And then where you're, when people are Dropboxing it to you, they may be giving you read-only access to that file.
And I've checked that, and I don't think that's the problem.
Okay, so here's how we test for that.
Okay.
When you go to get the file from the Dropbox, they're giving you a link, right? Mm-hmm. And so you open it up, you've got the file open in your PowerPoint now. You can do a save as.
Right.
And so save it as, some other name or whatever on your local computer, on your desktop.
Right.
And then if you can you edit the file then, or is it still giving you permission errors?
No, then it's fine. And in fact, what I've noticed is and this is I should say this is on a new computer, Windows 10. I've done this on my old computer, Windows 7, and with no problem whatsoever.
Gotcha.
So the only problem I'm having is with this new computer, Windows 10. And the thing is when it does open in read-only, it will not let me save as.
Okay. So, okay, gotcha. Oh, so it opens in read-only and you can't save a copy of it.
I can't save a copy, and I've noticed it. The problem is just with PowerPoint, and it seems to be just with Word. Gotcha.
Okay. So you're getting links in a Dropbox for documents that are in read-only mode, and you can't click there's not the little enable editing button at the top. Like you've seen that before at the top of like Word where you have to click that.
Yeah.
So that's not there. So it's possible. Do people who send you these, do they intend you to edit them, or are they intended for single-use consumption?
No. They're supposed to be edited, and the reason why I think it's connected to the problem with Word as well is because it's all connected to the preview pane. If I have the details pane on, I have no problem whatsoever. I cannot preview any files in the preview pane. Once I turn that preview pane off, everything works as is.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. So bear with me, everybody listening to. Someone is sending you a file. Are they putting it in your Dropbox, or are they sending you a link to the file from their Dropbox?
We have a work Dropbox.
Gotcha. Is it the professional version of Dropbox, or is it the consumer version being used in a professional environment?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. Only one person can access that file at a time.
Okay, that's not it either.
Even if it's open in the preview pane on someone's computer, that's accessing it.
Okay.
So you're saying if you have it in the preview pane, you can access it, but if you don't, you can't?
No, if I turn the preview pane off and have the details pane up, everything works just fine. And the problem I have with Word, the Word files are not coming over the Dropbox. The Word files are my own Word files that I have created sitting on my computer.
Okay.
And I go, if the preview pane is open and I click on them, what comes up is you don't have permission to save in this location. I'm sorry, wrong one. It comes up, Word cannot create the work file. Check the temp environment variable.
Okay.
And now, that's the only problem. And the Word file, the PowerPoint files are coming via a Dropbox, but the Word files are my own created Word files sitting on my computer.
Okay, this narrows it down a little bit. What version of Windows or of Office are we using?
Let me think here.
That's all right. The newest one is 2016, and before that was 2013.
2016 365.
Okay, perfect. And it's installed on your computer, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the temp variable is the by default variable where everything is stored in the, so when you have a file open, that's where it's going to use. It's kind of its scratch box.
Right.
And so basically the temp variable is incorrect for whatever reason on your computer, and it's trying to create that temporary variable in an area that it's not allowed to create it, like in a Dropbox, for example.
And that's kind of what I figured was the problem, but I'm stuck as to what to go
Gotcha.
do after that.
Okay, the simplest solution to this problem would be to do a repair installation of your Windows not Windows, don't repair install Windows. A repair installation of your Office software.
Okay.
And that will reset all the environment variables. So I mean, it's like killing a fly with a cannon. But if I have a technician sitting in front of your computer and you're paying, $130 an hour to have him sit there, he could sit down and figure out in an hour what variable it is and correct it and call it good. But if you're looking for a way to do this on your own, the easiest way to do that, the first thing I would try is if you go into your control panels, into your apps, you can find your Office 365, and you can do, when you click on it, they'll give you options like uninstall or repair. Click repair, and it'll go through and try to repair it. It'll give you two different options for repairing it. I had to do this recently to my Office after the last big Windows update. It completely broke everything. So basically what I had to do is I had to click repair, and it gave me two options. There was a simple option, which I tried first because you didn't have to reboot, and that didn't work.
Right,
so,
and I did try that one, and that one did not work.
Yeah, try the complex one that's going to complete. It's going to download fresh install files, and it's going to completely reinstall Office, and then make you reboot the computer.
Okay.
Do that one. That's what fixed my Outlook was broken. My Word was broken. Nothing like what you're experiencing. Mine was like broken. I couldn't open the program.
Okay.
So I did that second option, and that fixed everything. But it was after this last big update that happened to me.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
All right. Thanks for the call, Karen. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
All righty. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Alan, you're next up on the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yeah, good morning. So I've got a Acer laptop that I recently got from eBay with Windows 7 because I really don't care that much for Windows 10. But so when I got it, started using it, and I noticed that it only had IE6 on it, and so I was getting a little pop-up notices saying, you need to upgrade the latest version, IE11. So I tried to install IE11, and it come up and says that I need a Service Pack 2 in order to install IE11, which kind of got to be a catch-22 because I couldn't install the so what's happening is when I try to install the SP2, it doesn't install. It says that you need something newer than IE6.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah,
you got a couple problems going on.
Okay.
The first one is you can't get the patch because you don't have the right browser. You can't access Windows Update because your browser is ancient. So how on earth are you going to get this done? So here's what you can do. There's two ways you can download patches from Microsoft. The first way is obviously through Windows Update, and the second way is you can download the standalone patch. It's like a network administrator's version of the patch that I could put on a flash drive if I had 1,000 computers to do, and I could distribute it over a network or go from computer to computer, plug it into all the drives, and get them all done. So the first thing is you and I have to have a heart-to-heart about Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is a dead browser. It is not supported by Microsoft anymore. It's not updated by Microsoft anymore. Internet Explorer is documented to be about as secure as what's the most insecure thing you could possibly think of? Being in a tent in Mosul. I mean, it's about as insecure as you can get. You're guaranteed to catch some flack if you're using Internet Explorer 11 or otherwise. Which I have one employee in my Lincoln Service Center that she just won't use anything else. And I'm like, you're using Internet Explorer? What are you, crazy? She goes, well, I only use it for our stuff. And I'm like, doesn't matter. Get the Internet Explorer. Oh, my gosh. But so I understand some people get really attached to their browsers, but really, Internet Explorer is you're guaranteed to get infected with something using Internet Explorer. It's a guarantee regardless of what you have installed on the computer for antivirus, because there are holes in Internet Explorer that have been documented that Microsoft has not patched, because Microsoft came out and admitted there's a fundamental flaw in the way Internet Explorer was created, and it cannot be patched sufficiently to make it secure. So they scrapped it and they developed Edge. And then just to make things like really confusing, they made the symbol for Edge be a blue E, kind of like Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is the blue E with the little halo around it, and Edge is the blue E with the little chunk missing out of it. So it's the blue E, and people use the blue E, and it's kind of confusing. So here's what I would do. Do you have any other browser installed on the computer right now, like Chrome or Firefox?
Yeah, it works fine with Chrome.
Perfect.
It's just there's features of Internet Explorer that I would like to be able to use.
Such as?
Well, for one thing, and two, I was going to ask you or tell you about this. On Internet Explorer, you can get the Chrome toolbar, the Google toolbar.
You can.
But and that's one feature I really, really like and use a lot.
Okay.
But isn't it odd or funny? And does Google have the Google toolbar on Chrome yet?
No, because they've stopped developing the Google toolbar, because Chrome is made by Google. And so the purpose of the Google toolbar is kind of crazy. What do you use the Google toolbar for? What do you like about it?
Just to be able to get to open web pages quicker and easier.
Gotcha. So in other words, instead of knowing the address, you could just in the Google toolbar you have a search box, right? And you can type your search right in there. Well, do you know that all modern browsers, whether it's Firefox or Chrome or Edge, you can type your search right in the address bar. It is a search box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, if that's why you're using the Google toolbar, rather than creating a Google toolbar to run as a separate piece of software for Chrome, because Chrome is made by Google, they just included it. It's like built into the functionality. So you can type in and they don't do the page rank thing anymore. All that extra stuff is passé. So basically for a search box, it's in there. And Firefox does the same thing. Now the Firefox one will default to Yahoo when you first install Firefox, but you can click on the little magnifying glass in the search box and you can change it to Google. You just click on that and it makes a drop down and you select Google. And then from that point forward, whenever you type anything in the address bar, you could type in Shamrock Invocations and hit enter, and it's going to show you, hey, did you mean Schrock Innovations? And you can click there and go on and buy your maintenance certificate. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So basically, that's what I'm saying. Internet Explorer, there's not really anything in it that hasn't been wrapped into a modern browser, but you can get so much more security from the modern browser. So here's the thing: the Internet Explorer was available on Windows 7 and I believe and 8 and 8.1. But starting with Windows 10, Edge was available. So you can't get Edge on Windows 7, 8, or 8.1. So if you're rolling with one of those older versions of Windows, your best bet is to switch to Chrome or to switch to Firefox. But now to get back to your original problem, you can't access Windows Update with Firefox or Chrome because it's restricted to only allow Internet Explorer to access it. So yay, catch-22. So what you want to do is pop open your Chrome browser and type into that search box up there, the big URL box. It's also a search box. Download Windows 7 Service Pack 2. Enter. And it will take you to the web page where you can download the administrator's version of that. And it's like a 300 megabyte file. It's a huge file. So download that to your computer and run that. And it's just like you're doing the patch from Windows Update. It'll do everything. It'll ask you to reboot. And then when you reboot your computer, it'll say, please wait while we get your computer ready and configure updates. And then boom, it'll come up and you'll be ready to rock and roll. It'll automatically include IE11 in that update, which will restore your access to Windows Update. Because if you don't have a Service Pack 2, that means your automatic updates aren't working either. And you've got to get that fixed.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, if you can get that.
I think you've convinced me. I'm just going to abandon IE altogether. I haven't been using it lately because I've been forced to use Windows 10 on my other laptop, and I just got so tired of it. I like I said, I bought this off of eBay because I wanted to go back to Windows 7.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, last point or question I wanted to ask you was, I noticed you've got a lot of bus stop benches around town that say free computer repair.
We sure do.
I was just curious, what does that cover?
What's the scam there? What's the catch?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So no, it's a valid question. Okay. So here's the thing. We're a service company. Thank you very much for the call, Alan. I appreciate it. We're a service company, and what we do is we make people's technology work. It's what we do. We don't bog you down with garbledy-gook language. I mean, like with this last call, when you were asking these questions about, hey, I can't get the Windows update because I don't have this prerequisite and that prerequisite, my job is to figure out how to get around that and how to explain that to you in a way that you can do it at home yourself, potentially. If you're not comfortable doing it at home yourself, you can bring it into us. Now, if you've ever been to a computer repair shop before, they fall into certain categories. And you can go online and Google computer repair shop and look at their interior pictures. You've got the part hoarder guy that keeps every old computer that he ever sees, pulls all the guts out of them because they might be useful someday. And he has like literally we got a recycle that was pre-Amiga. I didn't know there was a pre-Amiga computer, but apparently there was. And it was like, 1978, and this guy was it was crazy. It's all yellow and nasty, and yeah, well, we got it. It's recycled. No floppy drives. Pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, there's the guys that hoard that stuff, and then they have it all stacked up to the ceiling. And then you've got the shiny, happy resale shop, where all they do is they resell other people's stuff. So you walk in, and there's a cutout of a man, and it says on his shirt, he's doing the Superman thing, and it says, AVG, it's all you need. Because AVG pays a pretty good price per when you sell their professional antivirus software, which we wouldn't sell to you because it doesn't work as well. So then you have shops like Schrock, where we're focused on the service side of business, which is becoming a disappearing science. It really is. When I travel, I like to go to computer shops. And then I just kind of go in there and look around and like, can I help you? No, I'm just looking around. And then they look at me really funny, like people don't come in here and look around. I'm like that weird guy that comes into my shop now. So anyway. They fall into these categories. So the reason we have the benches and the reason they say free computer repair is we want you as a new customer, someone who has never been into Schrock before, to come into the service center and try us out. When you have that computer problem that you think is insurmountable, it's impossible to fix, you've taken it 3 other places and they never understand, they can't fix it because you walked in the door and you said, my modem has a virus, and whenever I try to get on the line, it tells me I have a virus. Well, modems can't get viruses, and what you're getting on the line, like the phone line? What do you have, dial-up? What does that mean? Those are real examples that we hear in the service center. And my guys have been trained to understand the customer doesn't mean the modem. They just don't know that the right word, so they're going to use the right word. They're going to supplement when they write the work order. They put the right terminology in so the techs in back see it and they know what's going on. And the thing, they're getting a pop-up every time they get on the line that tells them they have a virus. Wait a minute. Their homepage has been hijacked. Every time they open their internet browser, they get a pop-up that says they have a virus. Woo! Translation. Bam! Type it in. And you send it into the back. And sure enough, it's super, super easy. So most computer repair shops have a problem with communication, not a problem with they can have great technicians. They're socially incompetent. So, we try to actually put people on our front desks that aren't technicians because they speak human, right? And so then we can get everything figured out and make sure that everyone's getting the service level that they want. So the reason we have the bus benches is we want new customers to come in. What that covers in the shop is the first hour of labor. If we can fix your problem on your computer in an hour or less, there is no charge. Every single day, we have people that come into the service center with computer problems and leave with a free hour of labor coupon and nothing else. It happens every single day. Now, right now, we have the preventative maintenance checkup sale going on. So you can't combine 2 discounts. You can't get the free hour and the maintenance checkup on sale for half off. So, and it's only for new customers who have never been into the shop before. Communication, here we go. If you buy a discounted maintenance checkup certificate on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, have you ever set foot in my service center? Nope. If you have called for help, and we have a standard operating procedure. If we can solve your problem in 2 minutes or less, we fix it for free over the phone. Have you ever set foot in my service center? No, you haven't. It's this brick and mortar world. It keeps coming back. Gosh, can't we just all be clinical online and never touch each other or see each other? No, you never come in before. So if you bring your computer in for work, we're going to give you that first hour of labor for free. And when you experience what that's like to have somebody who actually listens to the problem, who actually tries to solve it, who thinks outside the box, who doesn't just look at it and say, oh, that's a weird problem. We should just wipe the whole computer. Let's do that. What? That's like the last resort. That's after we beat our heads against it for 2 days and we're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this before. No one on the internet has seen anything like this before. And we called Microsoft, and Microsoft remoted in, and they've never seen anything like this before. I don't know what you did to this computer, but it was not holy. We need to do a wipe and reinstall this thing and get it all cleaned up and put back the way it needs to be. And okay, so that's the last resort. So what the bus benches are, it's free computer repair. The white bus bench is offset with the black text. That's all it says, free computer repair. And the only thing that people remember, because how fast are you driving by? And the speed limit's 45, Alan. I mean, you're driving past it, 50, 55 miles an hour. Free computer repair, new customers only, first hour of labor free, up to $110 in value, blah, 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 blah. If you go to Hy-Vee, you get a register receipt. We have the same ad on the register receipt. And all those details are on there because, we have... You can stop and read your receipt, but I don't want you, crashing into the back end of a bus because you were trying to read the bench. So free computer repair, super simple, Schrock logo, SchrockInnovations.com, and it's free computer repair. And you're going to drive by that bench a million times, and then one day we're kind of like a plumber. Who is your go-to plumber? You're laughing. I actually have a go-to plumber. When you have a house for a while, you get these things. But no, who's your go-to garage door? Who's your go-to roofer? I have a roofer now, too. You get these things over time. But if you're a new homeowner, you don't have a go-to plumber or a go-to electrician. Who's your go-to computer guy? Maybe it was Computer Habit. They're gone. He got indicted. Maybe it was Darby over at Computers to Go. He's not there anymore. Wish he was. He was a good guy. He's one of the greats, actually. Maybe it was DIT. Well, they closed. They're gone. Who's your go-to guy? A lot of people don't have a go-to guy, so they end up taking it back to where they bought it, which is like the Mart, which doesn't do computer service, and they send you over to another place. And if it's not under warranty, then, okay, whatever. Maybe you take it back to the Geek Squad because you bought it at Best Buy. They're good guys over there. They're just not allowed to fix anything. Literally, their hands are tied in a lot of cases. So the bottom line is we want to establish, the reason we have those bus benches is to establish that we are here. It's a top-of-mind awareness thing. And we do computer repair because our name is incredibly descriptive of what we do. Schrock Innovations. I'm a marketing guy. Yeah, right. But the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, still, it doesn't really say computer repair and data recovery and Schrock IT services. Maybe, but that sounds like businessy stuff. So I don't know. So the benches are free computer repair. So if you're listening and you've never been into my shop before, number one, buy the certificate on our website for the preventative maintenance checkup at SchrockInnovations.com. And then number two, when you have a computer problem, you can bring it into the shop and use that new customer coupon to get a free hour of labor toward your repair. If it takes 2 hours to repair, we just credit one of the hours off. If we can fix it in an hour or less, we will do that for you. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Thanks for the call, Alan. We're going to take a quick break. More of the show coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations' line of modular computers last longer and perform better than those box store one-size-fits-all systems. When it's time to replace your computer, call Schrock at 934-9423 and find out why a modular computer is the last computer you will ever purchase.
In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in...
My feed, I don't know if my feed's jumping for you guys, but it's jumping on my side too. I don't know if the wireless in here is freaking out or what. They don't give me a hard wire connection. All right, Schrock Miracle Workers, Thomas. I don't know about Miracle Workers. We've done some things in the past that's been kind of fun. Like the guy who came in, who had he had like a $10,000 piece of machinery that was run by this Windows 98 computer, and it was a special square case and everything, unheard of at the time. Very proprietary system. And it had a bad motherboard. And he's like, I need this computer fixed. You don't understand. I'll pay like $1,000 to fix this Windows 98 computer because if we don't fix this, I can't run my $10,000 piece of machinery. Boom. What? Okay, so we got to fix this guy's computer, right? So we get in there and we're removing capacitors and putting stuff that we normally would just not be cost effective to do, but we got it done. And then his power supply was bad. You can't buy that power supply anymore. He was like, I don't care. I just need it to run. So we got to, we could hook up a power supply and it would work. It just wouldn't fit in the case, and it's all proprietary, so we can't move it to a new case. So we said, well, Let's take out the drill and take the enclosure off the power supply and drill a couple of holes and put a couple of bolts in. We bolted it onto the side of the case. It's like, well, that's pretty Jimmy right there, but a little sketch, but it works, and it saved him a $10,000 piece of equipment. So that's the kind of stuff, like, you're not going to, other shops may not do that. So, all right, here we go, guys.
Alrighty, welcome back in. Final segment of Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we build new computers. We fix old computers. We recover data from dead computers. If it has anything to do with a computer, we touch it at Schrock Innovations. We also design websites. We do search engine marketing. So if you have a business or a website for your business or your church and you need someone to work on it, or your web guy's just not as responsive as you would like, we don't outsource our web stuff. We have our guys right in the Omaha Service Center at an incredible expense. You have no idea how expensive it is to do that. In a world where everybody else is sending the work to India, we have guys right here in Omaha doing the work. And it costs more. It genuinely does. But when you're a service company, it doesn't do you much good to send your IT support overseas in the middle of the night. You know, okay, well, we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'll give you a call back after I talk to, the guy in India. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It works for saving money. Here's the thing. We also know we're in a competitive environment. So we do not charge, even though we have our guys on hand in Omaha, you don't pay as much as you would expect to pay for that. Because if you go to any kind of a marketing and design company here in town and want a website, it's going to cost you $10,000. $8,000, $5,000. I think most of our websites are between $2,000 and $4,000 that we do, unless you want some really crazy stuff. For example, if you bought fireworks, which I would highly recommend that you purchase your fireworks from Crackling Kirk. The Crackling Kirk stands. They have one in Waterloo. There's one in Denton. I believe they have one in Springfield as well. But the Crackling Kirk fireworks stands, the only place you're going to get the Bulldog fireworks. This guy is the real deal. He doesn't make his own. I've made my own before, and I almost killed my neighbors, so then I stopped. It was bad. But he has fireworks companies make fireworks for them that were designed by his family. Like, wouldn't it be cool if? And then they make these fireworks. It's amazing. And so I went and loaded up on the Bulldog stuff. It's great stuff. But if you go over and check out his tents over there, all the fireworks that are in his tents were obviously, it's ironic, I know, but they produce all the fireworks in China. Nobody in America makes fireworks. Then they ship them over here, right? Well, we created the software that allowed not only his tent, but numerous other tents in the Omaha metro area to order all their fireworks, get a discounted price by bundling all their orders together and figuring out how much they could put in a shipping container and then get it all over here. That's the kind of automation stuff that a lot of people don't think. When you think website, you think like brochure. You don't think streamline our business process to automate it. And that's what we do at Schrock. And it didn't cost nearly as much as you might think. So go buy your fireworks from Kirk, because he spends money at Schrock. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. All right, Rick, you're the next caller up on the show. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hi, Thor. Appreciate you taking my call.
No sweat. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm a new customer to you. I came in the other day, last week, and I have an Asus, an older. It's I don't know, it's 5, 6 years old, and went to your Papillion shop, and they were absolutely wonderful. I mean, Robert was the guy's name, and he was really wonderful. And I thought I had a problem with my battery going dead, and
yep.
And I think I was right, and he finally did agree. It checked out okay when you turned it on, and he went through the check on screen, and it showed that it was 98%. But
yeah, batteries are little liars like that.
They sure are. And listen, I told him, I said it goes off in about 5 minutes when you're working unplugged, and we tried it that way, and he unplugged it, and sure enough, it blanked out.
Yep.
And so, and I have been listening to you for quite a while, and I thought, well, I'll check out the updater, and I purchased several Secure Updater and whatever your other program is, the virus.
Yeah, Endpoint.
Endpoint, yes, sir. So I've got all that in there, and they were able to do that in a day. I mean, it's amazing. He called me the next day and said my computer was ready except for the battery.
Right.
And they said, well, we have to order the battery, and he said the boss orders the battery. And
yep, the boss does the ordering.
That would be you. So.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Yep, and actually, so we don't get too many calls for an Asus A42 to G74 battery. You're right. That one's up there a little bit in the age. The batteries are only supposed to last 18 to 24 months, and so you got some life out of yours. But the good news is while you were talking there, as soon as you started talking about the battery, I knew exactly what you were talking about. So I went ahead and checked the tracking for you. And it looks like the estimated delivery is going to be Thursday the 6th. The 4th is throwing us for a loop in there. So it looks like it's going to be here no later than Thursday.
That'd be great, because I explained to him that we go to Ohio every year, and I'm retired, and I've got plenty of time to mess around at it. But I would like to be able to take it with me on vacation, and when we go up there, we go up for a couple of weeks, and we have an old camper, and we're just grandma and grandpa popping along the road, and don't always have a place to plug in, so it's kind of nice to have the battery.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you very much for the call, Rick, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the kind words for Robert as well. And Robert did pull me aside that afternoon. I came into the shop, and he came in, and he was like, hey, just to let you know, FYI, there's a battery in the online system for a customer. And I'm like, Robert, I check it every morning. Of course, I just wanted to let you know. So yeah, thank you for the kind words. I'll pass that on to Robert as well. All right, so we need to draw a winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Today's winner is Linda. Congratulations, Linda. You got yourself a $25 certificate over at Schrock. I'm going to email the Lincoln Service Center. Actually, will call you and mail this out to you. So I'm going to send them over an email. If you wanted to use that today toward a preventative maintenance checkup certificate or anything else in the service center, just call over and they can check with Lincoln and get all the information and get it all squared away so you get that discount. All right. So here's the deal, guys. If you're going to be bringing a computer in, now is the time to do it for the preventative maintenance sale. I didn't spend a whole lot of time drumming into your head today what we do during preventative maintenance. Needless to say, your computer will be about 25% faster when you get it back if you've never had one before. Otherwise, every 6 months, you can check out the pictures on Facebook. Those, except for the cobweb guy, those are 6-month pictures. So that's how much buildup you can expect to see in 6 months. Check those out at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Omaha Morning Blend will be on there tomorrow. Best of show over there. And then I will be back here again next Sunday with a brand new phone number for you, but you can still call the old ones. And we'll have our first simulcast call into simulcast show into 2 different cities. Pretty big deal. All right, we'll stay around for the After Schrock here after the program. Stay tuned on Facebook, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Compute This.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110, KFAB, Omaha.
Whew. I don't know why that show it just felt weird. Like I felt like I didn't take enough breaks or something. Like
yeah, it was like very late.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I was talking too much. Was I talking too much? So I don't know. We'll see. What do we have? If you guys have any questions on Facebook, the time to post them is now. For some reason, there's like a 30-second delay on Facebook Live, which is not really live, right? But if you have any questions there, you can throw them up on Facebook as comments, and I'll go ahead and answer them. All right, Thomas finally remembers the question he's been trying to remember for weeks. You've had bad experiences with Corsair liquid cooling, if memory serves. I have a 100i. What do I need to keep an eye on, and what do you recommend for my next build? Okay, not all the Corsair ones are bad. The Corsair ones that are bad are the $39 Corsair coolers. Those are the ones that are gonna get you taken pretty hardcore. What you should look for is a hose whipping around inside your computer, spewing liquid everywhere. That's what happens. And then it doesn't cool anything and your computer shuts off, either shorts out or just shuts off because it overheats. Usually people who have liquid coolers have a big video card too. So when that liquid cooler, when the pipe comes off, it just sprays liquid all over your graphics card. And right now buying a new graphics card is virtually impossible because everyone's using them to mine cryptocurrency. So we can hardly get them ourselves for customers right now, let alone for cryptocurrency. Come on now. So Corsairs are fine. Just don't get the cheap one. Get like the $100 one. Don't get this $30 one because the $30 one has bad issues. All right, Ron writes,
Can you recommend a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi transmitter that I can send audio to my standalone Bluetooth speaker? Okay, so most computers now have integrated Bluetooth in them already. They have a Bluetooth transceiver that allows you to pair headphones or external speakers. If your computer doesn't have one, you can get what basically is a Bluetooth wireless dongle that you put in your USB port, and it gives you a Bluetooth connection for the computer. So let's pop onto Amazon here real quick. Let's be Amazonian and say Bluetooth USB dongle. And dongle is a highly technical term. That's what it's actually called. All right, 2-year warranty, USB Bluetooth 4.0 adapter for PC, wireless dongles, told you so, for stereo, music, VoIP, keyboard, mouse support, Windows 10, 8, 1, 7, Vista, $13 on Prime. So you can get it for like between $13 and $30, depending on what you want to spend, and that'll give you that Bluetooth connection that you're looking for. And once you have that on the computer, then you pair your speaker with the computer. You get a little Bluetooth icon down there by your clock, and you can pair things, and then you'll be able to use it like a wireless speaker. You'll be good to go. Thank you for the question, Ron. All right. Windows 10 update is asking her to update security info first. Is that legit? Interesting. I've never seen, Myrna, anything asking me to update security info. Like if it's asking you to confirm passwords or to confirm security questions, that's not part of an update. That's something different. That could be fake. If it's a Windows update, a Windows 10 update, now here's the other thing. It could be asking you to create a Microsoft account. It will always ask you to create a Microsoft account after an update. You don't have to. You can use the local account. There should be an option. Sometimes it's kind of hidden down there. It says use local account. Click use local account, and it won't require you to create a username and a password and create security questions and things like that. If it's asking you to create an account, that's okay. If it's asking you to change the security settings in your existing account, I wouldn't trust it. All right, Brian writes, you mentioned mining for Bitcoin. I never said anything. I know the words Bitcoin never came. I said cryptocurrency. Is there a maximum number of Bitcoin in existence? There is, actually. The way that Bitcoin works is there are a fixed number of Bitcoins that will ever be minted, basically. And so this is a control inflation. This is one of the reasons why cryptocurrency is so intriguing, because when you have a central bank that just prints money, they can print money all day long and you wouldn't necessarily know they're printing money, like in Venezuela. You wouldn't know. Now with cryptocurrency and the blockchain, if a country were to take their currency and tie it to a blockchain, not only would you know how much total money was in existence given day or time, you could trace any individual dollar or coin back to its point of creation and every single person's hand it touched going back in time indefinitely. So it would everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin is like the tool of criminals, blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin is used by criminals because it is an instantaneous payment processing system that doesn't fail, that has very low transaction costs, and is not reversible. That's why criminals use it. Once you send the money, there's no third-party bank in the way. Visa can't take the money back. So that's why you can't use a credit card to pay ransomware. Let me tell you a story. This illustrates why Bitcoin is catching on and why countries in the future might start using blockchains like Ether to create custom tokens for their currency. So we use Heartland Payment Systems for our credit card merchant processing at Schrock. So when you come in and you swipe your card at Schrock, we don't get the money instantly. No, it leaves your account instantly, but we don't get it instantly. We have to wait till the next day to get the money. On Monday, there was a problem where something between Heartland Payment Systems and Wells Fargo, where they send their ACH batches through, somebody screwed up the ACH batch and none of their customers got their Monday morning drops. So on Monday, since we get the money from the previous day, the next day, that means everything that we earned on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday didn't drop on Monday. And as a result, we had a check that we basically sent out for Blue Cross Blue Shield. One of my employees has cancer. He literally just had thyroid cancer cut out of his body. So this check bounced because we didn't get our drop, our daily drop. Yeah, I'm sure all businesses talk about how they bounce checks on their Facebook feeds. That's great. No, but you get what I'm saying. It was a weird situation where the money didn't come into our account, so we didn't have enough money to cover the checks that we thought we had out. And then all of a sudden, Blue Cross Blue Shield is telling me, my gosh, you got to come in here with a $10,000 cashier's check in the next 12 hours, or we're going to term your policy. And this poor guy that had cancer, we're not going to pay any of his bills. Now, I bank in Lincoln at Westgate Bank because it's a good community bank. That means Blue Cross Blue Shield's office is in Omaha. And this was 3:30 in the afternoon. They want me to drive to Lincoln and get a cashier's check and get it back to their store before 4:30 when they close at their little office. You got to be kidding me. That's not physically possible. So they gave me till the next day out of their benevolence to do this and run it all over town and do everything. But if, let's say now, let's rewind that whole story and say instead we have cryptocurrency instead of credit cards. The second that you make a transaction in my shop, that cryptocurrency leaves your wallet and appears in my wallet. It doesn't go to a bank first. There's no clearinghouse in the way. So the reason criminals use it is because there's no way for anybody to interfere with that payment or to reverse it or to trace it. Yes, I can see going back in time that it came from this wallet number, but you're not required to like register a wallet number. So the reason everybody says this isn't safe or this isn't whatever, because I can open a wallet today, use it one time, never touch it again, and discard it like a throwaway prepaid card, basically. So that's why criminals use it. But in a government setting, a government could require a citizen to register a wallet that becomes their payment address, just like your bank account number is registered with the government. And that's how you get your Social Security and your Medicare and everything else. It goes right into the bank account. So that way, they've got the information. It's the same thing. You just register the wallet, and all of a sudden you can send cryptocurrency anywhere you need to. So anyway, yeah, cool and creepy. It is cool and creepy. But here's the thing. Cryptocurrency can be mined because these coins have to be created by somebody, right? And what happens is these people who have all these computers that are mining for coins, basically, they go out and they solve these math problems. They're actually processing the transactions that you're doing in my store. They're confirming the transactions so that there is a majority of people that say, yes, this is a legitimate transaction, and yes, it did happen when it's said to have happened and the amount that is said to have happened. Therefore, it is accepted by the network. That is what prevents people from creating fake transactions. So now we've gotten rid of all the fraud, too, that is in the current banking system. You can't kite your checks anymore. You can't write bad checks anymore. Because the money is instantaneously transferred, and if the money is not there or you try to do a fake transaction, the network stops it. Because there's so many people watching it, they catch it. And they only get paid for catching it if they catch it and they solve the problem correctly and they catch the problem. And the payment for that is 25 Bitcoins, which at $2,000 a coin is excellent incentive to go out and mine Bitcoins. Now, the problem is the problems are so hard to solve that if you sat down, even with the most powerful modular computer you could build, to solve a Bitcoin problem, it would take you years. So people take all their computers and pool them together to work as a team to create huge amounts of computing power. And then they go through and they solve these problems. And that's how the Bitcoin ecosystem works. So that's your cryptocurrency 101. But yeah, there is a maximum number of Bitcoins, and this is part of the scaling problem that Bitcoin's facing right now. But there will be, I think it's 25 million Bitcoins or something like that, and then that's it. After that, there won't be any new Bitcoins issued. It's just the Bitcoins that are existing in the ecosystem that will be traded, basically, for goods, services, money, things like that. So, yeah, it's catching on, guys. And I think in the future, at some point, we're all going to be using cryptocurrency. We won't call it cryptocurrency. Kind of like when in the past, like think in the 1970s, if you would have looked at somebody, no, let's say the 1950s. Let's say in the 1950s, you just said, you're going to have a card in your wallet with a microchip in it. And you're going to walk up to the store and you're going to stick this card in there and it's going to instantly take the money out of your bank to pay for your groceries. You'd have called that guy crazy. That's insane. Who would carry a microchip, mark of the devil and such? Oh, now people are saying this is cryptocurrency is crazy. These are just numbers flying around in the ether, basically, and they're not real. The problem is, happy Independence Day. Your dollars are numbers flying around in the ether, and they're not real either. Oops, not supposed to say that. Hi guys, I gotta go. Bye. No. Anyway. So, all right, any other questions? Last call for questions here on the show before we wrap up the Aftershock here. So now that I've freaked everybody out about cryptocurrency, their dollars are worthless. You might as well go spend them at Kirk's 10 on fireworks. That's just all I'm saying. Buy 3, get 1 free, or what? Buy 1, get 3 free. They're Snap Pops. I mean, come on. Who needs? Oh, Snap Pops. Okay, be safe with your fireworks. True story. My son, we have date night on Friday. My son is 10. He's like, Dad, can I shoot off firecrackers on the babysitter's chair? And we're like, no, you can't. And he was like, why not? Because he's at that age now where he's getting a little attitude, getting a little funky odor about him. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, oh my gosh, was I this bad when I was 10 or 11? Because what happens if somebody gets hurt? What happens if somebody gets burned? And the babysitter is here to watch you. The babysitter is not here to watch you use explosives. She doesn't get hazard pay, okay? So that's not going to happen. And so as a compromise, that you can use the Snap Pops. And there's two kinds of Snap Pops you can get. And we all know the little Snap Pops you get at the grocery store, the little white bag, and you throw it on the ground and it goes pop. Yay. My son's like, whoopee, Dad, Snap Pops. I'm like, no, you don't understand, son. Oh, mi hombre. These are adult Snap Pops. You see, I do have a little bit of marketing left in me. These are adult Snap Pops. And the adult Snap Pops, they sound like a firecracker. And see, my son knows that I have a little bit of marketing in me, so he calls BS. So when he wants to see it. So we go outside, and they're little cylinders. You have to really throw them on the ground. They're like packed hard so they don't pop in the box. But they sound like a black cat when they hit the ground. And he's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like, great. You can throw these at the ground while the babysitter's. So we're getting ready to leave. We're wrapping up. And he's outside, snap popping away. And he throws one at the ground, and it explodes. And somehow it shot its like white hot phosphorus core up in the air and landed right on his neck. So let me reenact this for you, right? Snap, 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 snap. Oh, God, oh, it hurts, it burns. And we're getting in the car leaving, and we're like, what did you do? Oh, it hurts. And we're like, okay, it's a Snap Pop, kid. Cowboy up, son. Okay? You didn't get shot in the neck with a mortar or anything. You're fine, right? So, and my wife was just like, it's time for us to leave. She was like, he's crying. Like the neighbors, we have new neighbors moving in across the street. He's like, whoa! You're like, you're embarrassing us. Stop it. Go inside the house. So he goes inside the house, and then he finally takes his hand off his neck. And he's got a little burn there. My wife's like, I feel kind of bad now. He actually had a burn on his neck. I'm like, it's a Snap Pop. Let me tell you about the time I stuck a key in an electric outlet, okay? It's a Snap Pop. Let me tell you about the time I climbed the pine tree up higher than the streetlights. It's a Snap Pop. Let me tell you about the time my neighbor was throwing away a mattress when I was 9, and I lit it on fire for fun. You know how hard it is to get a mattress to burn, by the way? How do people do that with cigarettes? I don't understand it. But it's a Snap Pop. Man up. Anyway, so it was hilarious. So be careful with your fireworks. Even Snap Pops apparently can be dangerous. All right. All right, guys, thank you for joining us on the program. I appreciate it. One thing that I didn't mention on the air that I wanted to and I forgot is if you scroll down a little bit on Facebook, there is the Best of Lincoln, or excuse me, the Best of Omaha is going on right now. Every year we win Best of Omaha, and the way that works is the top 3 winners are considered the Best of Omaha, or Omaha's Best. We always win number 2. Best Buy beats us every year. The guys at Best Buy are good guys. I buy them sandwiches regularly. They send us a ton of business, so you're not going to hear me saying bad things about the guys at Best Buy. They're awesome. But people vote for them because it's like, where do you go for computer stuff? Oh, Best Buy. Where else do you go? And, despite the show and despite the bus benches that people are obviously seeing, despite everything we do, we don't have Best Buy's $10,000 a week marketing budget for Omaha. And so it's really hard for us to beat them. And this year, I am determined that we are going to come in number 1. Now, the Best of Omaha does not tell you who came in they don't tell the public who came in first, second, or third. They just say you're the best, right? And it's so you buy ads saying you're the best. And that's the whole point of the Best of Omaha. They want to sell ads in their magazine. But I know if we won number 1 or not. And I want to win number 1 this year. I want to see if we can do it. So if you have a moment to pop up there and vote in the Best of Omaha, we gave you the quick vote link that automatically tallies your vote for Schrock. I believe they make you vote for a couple other places too. But vote for some local businesses. You have no idea how much this award means to small independent businesses. That they really, this number 1, to get an award that says you're the best in town is absolutely awesome when you don't expect it. Like we won. I didn't even know there was a Best of Sarpy County contest 2 years ago, and we won Best of Sarpy County. And I'm like, how did we do that? We didn't even know about it. Wow, I didn't ask anyone to vote. that was the most humbling feeling. Oh my gosh. So find some local businesses to vote for and vote for the local businesses if you can, if they've earned it. I mean, don't vote for businesses that don't vote for us if we haven't earned it. But, you know, vote for a business you think is the best. And some of these local businesses really appreciate it. I know we do. I know my staff does. So if you have a moment to do that, please do that. We appreciate it. Have a good, safe 4th of July, guys. And I'll be back again next Sunday, and we're going to get a new 800 number. What should I spell out with our 800 number? We could have a secret Facebook word that, like, the 800 number, like, you know, I'll try for something like, you know, 1-888-COMPUTE or, you know, something cool. Yeah, what can we? Thor is too easy, too obvious, though. Do you hear they're going to name a baby seal at the zoo or something? They have a baby otter or a seal or something, and they have, like, you can vote on the names, and one of the names is Thor. Yeah.